everybody, welcome to Magic Universe. This is Message from Universe 10. This reading is timeless and has a message for you for whenever you happen to watch it. And it's also a part of the Pick a Message playlist. The information for how to play with the playlist is in the description below. Thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. And thank you for those of you who are getting readings and healings from me. If you're interested in a private session that is specific to you, you can go to my website at magicuniverse.co. That's .co. Thank you. So here is Message from Universe 10. Enjoy. Okay, so when I look at your color, I'm seeing you guys vibrate at light pink. And there's some kind of bruisey, kind of gray, purpley color that's around. That's not your energy, but it's kind of around, like in your space. And when I look at your cards, that shows up in the message of being clear about who you are, what your energy is, what you're wanting to create for yourself, and then kind of moving aside the other energies that aren't yours, or like kind of like the best depiction of it is say like calm amidst chaos, the sea storm card, where you're calm, you're that pink energy, right? And then there's a storm around you with that bruisey purpley gray color. That's not your energy. So you remaining calm, you being true to yourself, you remaining centered in yourself while there's sort of a storm around you. And it might not be that dramatic of an energy. For some of you, it might just be like a light little thing where there's like some kind of opposition or some kind of other energy floating around that doesn't feel so good. But just you being clear in who you are and knowing that, okay, you know, I feel a certain way about this and I know who I am, I know my direction, and I'll just let these other little voices and let other little feelings be where they are and they will dissipate, right? And for some of you, it might be a little bit more turbulent, as shown in the sea storm, where there might be a lot of other drama going on around you and then you remaining centered, okay? Okay. So that's kind of like the main message that I'm seeing that's kind of permeating through all of the cards here. Let's start with the Seven of Wands. So Seven of Wands talks about that, right? Where you have a position or you have a perspective of one thing, and universe is saying, stand your ground on it. You know, you have a position and know that your position is true for you, right for you, and any opposition to your position, you know, I mean, this card shows it as fighting it off. I mean, in some cases, you might be feeling that way where you're fighting it off. But basically, in order to not have these other opinions and positions where it feels like they're opposing you, right? You knowing who you are and having clarity about who you are and knowing that what's right for you is right for you, that knowing in itself is already kind of fending off the opposition. And sometimes when you're fighting something too hard, like say you feel a certain way about something and other people feel other ways about it, and you're needing to defend yourself or whatever. It's like the more you defend yourself, that the bigger the contrast between you and the other side becomes, right? So it's kind of like the conflict becomes bigger. Whereas if you just know your own truth within yourself and let that within you grow and let that within you stabilize, and there's no need to really fight or have a conflict, and it's like, I have my truth, you have your truth, and we can live in peace about that, or we can live in harmony about that. Like that in itself, it's like if you're able to know so well that what you know is right for you, those other voices will die down on your own. It's like through the law of attraction, the universe won't bring to you opposition. Whereas if you're looking to fight somebody, you know, like if you're looking, it's like, I feel this way and those people don't feel my way, so they're wrong and therefore I need to fight them. Like if you feel that way, that will bring to you more voices that oppose you and create more of a dramatic effect in your reality. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah, I want to go down to the card underneath, actually, the King of Swords. This King of Swords, this exact one, showed up in the last message from Universe, right? Where we talked about on your path, there will be some places that are lit, where you have clarity and you know what's going on and it feels good and you know you're on track. And then there are some parts of the path where it's not lit and you just kind of have to trust your way there. And I feel like for this particular message at this particular time, you're at the point where it's lit, where you're at the point where you're clear about who you are and you know what's right for you. And so it's like, even though within your environment, maybe there could be some opposition or you could be in the middle of a storm, you're so clear about who you are. And it's like you owning that and you being in that space of harmony with your desires, harmony and alignment with your inner source, with your inner being, that even if there's anything that's of a different vibration that's around you, there's a joy within you just because you're connected with your own source. And it's like there's a focus, right? Where you know you're creating what you want, you know the direction that you're headed towards, and it doesn't really matter what anybody else says. Okay, so that's kind of like the point where you're at right now. So that looks really good. In the second card, Judgment. So in this particular judgment, I mean, it could talk about like trusting your own judgment, knowing that you're clear about who you are, right? And especially with that little mouse, which I'm seeing is your human consciousness, looking up at the sun, which is your source energy, your higher perspective, right? It's like you and your source having that alignment, having that connection, and you being able to make good judgments from that point and have good judgment and trusting your judgment, right? And those little clouds around you is that energy that I was seeing in your color, with that bruisey purple energy that could be just energies in your environment, opposition, or like things going on in society or whatever, like you don't have to have it affect you, okay? And you can have your own clarity with your own source and create your life from just that connection with your own source and just leave everybody else out of it, have clarity of your own path and leave everybody else out of it. And in the book on this one, I was guided to look in the book, and there's a couple of sentences in here that's a message for you right now. Trust that you're seeing things clearly, right? So you have the King of Swords, right? And also, also on the second row, honesty is essential. Speak with love and truth. I feel like it has to do with that too. Trust that you're seeing things clearly and take advantage of it. Drop any guilt, sorrow, or other cumbersome baggage from your past and sprint through those magical moving stairs, baby. Because it's talking about like moving up that hill in that Judgment card. And so I kind of feel like it's saying those other energies that are in your space, it could be, that for some of you, it could be guilt, it could be sorrow, it could be any kind of like cumbersome baggage from your past, right? And it's like, let all of those things go and be able to see clearly your own path and be able to see clearly who you really are. And it's basically, I feel like it's about other people's opinions and other people's beliefs and stuff like that. And you don't have to defend yourself or fight against if you have a different perspective on something than somebody else. Okay. All right. So the third card, message in a bottle. I feel like some of you are going to get some clarity, information, communication in some way. It could be through an actual phone call, it could be through text, email, whatever. Like somehow you're going to receive a message and it's going to provide you a solution, it's going to provide you clarity on something. And I feel it related to the next card over, Keys on Trees, where you're receiving a key to something to unlock yourself, you're receiving a solution to something to unlock yourself from a space where maybe you feel like you've been looking for a solution for a little while, right? So there's some message that's going to come through to you that's going to help you with that. And then also, I feel like it relates to the honesty is essential card, speak with love and truth, that somebody is going to communicate with you and there's going to be an honest talk between you and this other person, or maybe you and this company or something like that, right? There's another party and you, and there's going to be some clear communication going on. And it could go both ways, depending on your situation. You could be the person that's approaching the other person, and you're approaching with love, because if you look at the picture, the figure behind on the right side is approaching with a rose with a little cupid on it, right? And it's like you're approaching the other party with love, or in reverse, somebody is approaching you with love. And that doesn't necessarily mean romantic love, although it could be, right? But it just means you're approaching with an open heart, right? Where you're wanting to have an honest relationship, or like a good relationship with this person. So there's a communication that's coming through for some of you, okay? Okay, so on to the second row, we talked about the King of Swords and having that clarity, and you being in that part of your path right now where you have clarity about your direction, and you're receiving that answer. Like we were talking about keys on trees, right? There's an answer that's coming to you. So you're in that space right now where you're receiving a solution, you're receiving an answer to something. And then Three of Wands talks about, for those of you, actually Three of Wands has this energy of actively waiting for something, right? And then also, if you look at the last card that came out, the waiting game. So there's two cards here that talks about waiting. So this is a message about when you're in that space of, say you have clarity about who you are, you're vibrating in that light pink that I'm seeing you at, right, as a group. So you're vibrating and you're focusing on your light pink, even though there's this storm around you, even though there's this chaos or this other energy that's around you. And so maybe it's that other energy that's causing there to be a delay, or like a wait of some sort, where things aren't happening right away, right? Where you're just waiting for an opportune moment. That's what I'm seeing in the Three of Wands, where you yourself, you're ready, you're focused, you're at that light pink, and you're like, okay, I'm just waiting for the skies to clear, so that like in that card above, you're waiting for the clouds to move away until I see the sun. Or I'm focusing on my inner truth, I'm focusing on where I'm going, and I'm just waiting for the opportune moment, for the environment around me to get into the right harmonic balance, for things to happen, right? So it's like, it talks about perfect timing. But it's not really about timing. It's like energetic alignment, right? It's waiting for the energetic alignment for the environment to come into harmony with you also, right? So let's apply this to relationships, for example. And so not all of you, it will be about relationships, but to apply this energy to, say, a relationship where you're desiring a romantic relationship with somebody, or like maybe a friendship, with somebody. And so you're getting yourself prepared. You're focusing on who you are, and you're knowing who you are, and you're like, you know what? I'm a bright, friendly, humorous person, and you're focusing on all of the qualities that you love about yourself, and you're vibrating and emanating that, and you're just loving yourself, right? And so you're in a really great place, and in this Three of Wands, or like the waiting game, you've got yourself in this really nice state of love, of self-love, and you're prepared, you're ready. And so now it's just like the environment needs to shift around, and the waiting is about coming into energetic alignment so that the right people that is of a similar vibration with you will come together. Like the universe will bring this person that's of a similar vibration to you, so that you guys can come together and meet each other and go, oh wow, you're amazing. And the other person will be like, oh, you're amazing too. And you guys will have all these things in common, and you guys will be complementary to each other also, right? So it's kind of like that, right? Where you're having a good time loving yourself, and then it's all about just the universe moving mountains to bring you the right people, or like synchronizing your timing so that you guys can come together. Okay, so you can apply this to relationships, you can apply this to like business opportunities, or whatever else that you might be creating for yourself in your life. Okay, so honesty is essential. And I feel like honesty is essential. Not only are you speaking truth, communicating truth with other people and them to you, but it's also being honest and truthful with yourself. And this doesn't imply that you've been dishonest, with other people or with yourself, but when you are in that place where, we're just talking about self-love and seeing all the good and wonderful things about yourself, that's being honest. That's speaking to yourself with love and truth, right? Instead of like, maybe sometimes you might not be in such a great place and you might pick out like the not so nice things about yourself and you focus on that. So this is talking about like, speak with the honest truth. Like, how does your inner source see you? How does, if you want to use the word God, right? How does God see you? God always sees you with love. Spirit always sees you with love, right? And so you need to see yourself with love too. And I feel like this card talks about that too. And so that when you're seeing yourself in that clarity and in that real truth, right, with a capital T, that I was just thinking about Friends, where Chandler was he saying real thing or something like that? And he goes, capital R, capital T. And then it's like, yeah, those are the right letters. It's like, you really have to think about it. I don't know why I just thought about that. But anyway, yeah. So the real truth, capital T. So you're seeing yourself in that light pink color that I was seeing you at, right? And not really focusing on the other colors and energies that maybe in your space, that's not the real you, that's not the real truth. I feel like that's what this is talking about. Like, then then you can weather that storm, then you can be calm amidst other chaos that may be happening around you. Then you'll be able to wait joyfully until the universe brings harmonious people or situations or events to you, right? And so it's so like the overall message, I feel like it's amidst whatever else may be going on in your life right now, being able to, Seven of Wands, like stand your ground and know who you really are, have clarity about who you are, and focusing on that truth of your true self. Okay. Some of you, I feel like, might be a little bit distracted by this energy in the waiting game, where it's like you're waiting and you're waiting, right? And you're waiting for the solution, you're waiting for the communication, you're waiting for whatever it is that you're waiting for. Some of you might be distracted by that. Most of you, I see, like, if I look at a percentage or something like that, it's like 80%. It's really dominant that you guys are in the place of where you're connected and you're seeing who you are, and it's just a matter of like letting those other energies, just letting them be there, and they will pass, okay, because you're focusing on who you really are. Okay, so those of you who are like having a little bit of a hard time in the waiting game energy, right? Your spirit is just saying to you to focus on what's growing while you're in this waiting game. Like, if you look at this hourglass, it talks about time, right? But on the upper half of the hourglass, there's a lot of growth happening. And then on the lower part, there's a lot of roots spreading, right? So there's a foundation that's building right now, and it's taking a little bit of time, and that's okay, If you're able to focus on the growth that's happening and focus on a solid foundation that's being built for you right now, the moment you're able to reach that tipping point, right, where you're on a path, and then when your energy kind of tips over like 60-40, you approach 50-50 and 60-40, now you're in more belief than you are in disbelief. Now you're in more hope than you are in like less hope or no hope, right? And you're able to focus on the pink more than the bruisey color, right? There's going to be a shift that happens, and you can see that in a picture right here where he's standing on these rings, right? And then there's one that's kind of like skewed from the rest of the rings, right? There's going to be an energy shift or a perspective shift or something like that that's going to happen after you reach the tipping point. So that's when the solution will come in. That's when the answers will come and you'll receive clarity. Okay. So yeah. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, click on the thumbs up and like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye.